So I'm going to review chapter 4 of the Millionaire Mind. And this chapter is called The Relationship Between Courage and Wealth. So my notes pretty much say that if you want to be a millionaire, you have to start thinking like one. And so it takes courage to do this because you have to sort of cultivate your courage in your adult years. You have to take risks, and it takes courage to take risks and to educate yourself about the risks and the investments and decisions that you've made. And so let's see here. This book is almost 30 years old, so there's a lot of value still in this book, and the principles are still relevant. So I'm going to read like maybe one or two quotes. It says here, "Why do those who are likely to become part of the next generation of millionaires take risk today? In their minds, economic risk taking is a requirement of becoming financially independent." So we have to take risks, even though, let's say, maybe those investments or certain things don't pan out, but we have to take them, especially if you want to be self-employed, self-made, or not have your typical job where you work for somebody else. So if you want to work for yourself or have your own business, we need to take risks. We need to be critical thinkers about the decisions we make. We need to plan. You also have to have courage when you've invested in some areas that don't provide a guarantee in return, such as the stock market or Bitcoin, like in today's market. So with this idea of courage and cultivating it throughout our adult lives, we need to be around people who think like us or better. We need to find mentors. We need to be in the same room as people that are doing better than us because we want to be like them or better. It's an energy exchange, like I said before. And also, now is the time, not tomorrow. And this seeps into other areas of your life as well. So the story that they gave me in this book is about a bus driver who knew early on, when his children were really small, that they were really bright. And he ended up sending them to private elementary schools, private colleges, just being a bus driver. I take that back. His job was a bus driver, but being a bus driver gave him the ability to have extra time on his hands. And so with that time, he put himself into a special reading program or self-improvement program, which is reading about stock investments. And so he learned a lot, and he invested in his children, invested in the stocks, and so they ended up going to these high-level schools. And after he sent them up, so let's say he retired, right? I think he retired already in the book. After he paid all the tuition, he was still ended up with $3 million after he invested in his children. So he lived a frugal lifestyle, but he invested in stocks, and he read. Just by reading, you can learn so much, and it's what we consume. Reading, watching, listening will help us get us to the next level. If we don't have in-person mentors or in-person people encouraging us, we can look for ways now to do that offline, like reading books, YouTube. So I guess my point is having the courage to start now and having the courage to continue on with the strategies of wealth and the mindset of wealth. So in order to be or to have a millionaire mind, we need to think like one. Or in order for us to be millionaires, we need to start thinking like one. What kind of decisions do they make? What kind of things do they do? What are their habits? And so I thought this review was important, especially when we want to invest in ourselves in a skill set that will give us a high ROI. So yeah. And so I hope that helps. I hope it helps. And yeah. So I think the main thing here is take action whether or not you think it's going to work out. Because the last thing you want to do is not do something and regret it later. I think regret is like one of those things that scar us for life emotionally because we didn't do the thing or at least try. I mean, if you failed, at least you tried. If it didn't pan out, at least you tried. So yeah, so if this resonates, start thinking like a millionaire. cultivate that courage, keep that courage within you, and it's okay to take risks. If you want to level up and be a millionaire or even higher, we need to take risks. And if that thing doesn't pan out or if we fail, it's feedback. Like in sales, it's just feedback. So I encourage you to start thinking like a millionaire.